They're getting the wins, but the performances, I mean, all three of you have questioned them this week. What are the fault lines with the Wallabies for you, Dean?
Oh, they've been poor. I think we've got to remember, this is a side that wrote the innovative playbook. You go back to the Brumbies, you think of Gregan, Larkham, Roth, Howard, all about deceptive runners, all about sleight of hand, not quite sure where the ball's going, suddenly they punch up.
When you played against them, you had no idea where the Aussies are going, where the ball was, who was running left, right. They just came at you with a sea of green and gold, and you thought sometimes you'd gamble.
Are they quite predictable now? Too predictable?
Well, you've got to look at them. This is their strike play, and you know they're used to playing off poor situations. We'll hold it here. We'll take a situation. They've got one ghost runner coming out, and they've got Hooper, a back rower, just going to crash the ball up into a defensive line that is probably one of the most organised in the championship. Now, when they play that through, bang, they hit. They've got no intention looking for a score. We go again. This is even worse. Cooper's got McCabe coming straight, outside centre running straight on the same thing. We're going to set up a ruck and we're going to try and play multi-phase off the back. Now, the Aussies have never done that. They've always looked to score. A set-piece opportunity, they've got a chance to go. Remember the try against England? Yeah. It was Gitto. It was sleight of hand. Gitto runs the deception, I run the back. Cooper just plays a little play. You're never quite sure who got the ball. Now, it's going back to almost South African tactics without the heavy sort of luggage that they've got coming round
Cost them in the World Cup. Ireland, well, they didn't introduce the choke tackle, but they used it on the day. They waited for the Aussie runners. They held them up, turned them over, stuffed them.
Huge number of injuries. Cooper, the latest to go. I mean, do you have sympathies with someone like Quade Cooper and the way that he's trying to play? Is it just not happening around him, or is there a lot to do with him?
I've got sympathy for Robbie Deans, the coach. I think Robbie Deans is a great coach. There is issues. Obviously, they're trying to play a different type of way, but Quade Cooper doesn't help himself with just his body language and the whole way he goes about it.
I'm not sure they're playing that differently. I think they've lost detail. I think they were the best.
He's still got a 59% win record, Robbie Deans. He's doing something, well.
I mean, we're talking about gets to the outside. Now, traditionally, where they were at the best, this group here found some order. They were in place, and the magic of Cooper, and I'm a fan of Cooper when it comes to movement, not about game management. He is one of the best movement players. Now, they go through the ruck situation, got no Genia, who's a massive threat around the ruck, so that defence gets a little bit easier. And we've just got to look. That group has no understanding at all about what it's doing. Now, we've got to feel sorry for this guy, because this guy he's got some hands, he's got some footwork, and he can put people in holes. But when he's faced with that,
well, he's shouting you forward, so you get it
he's got no choice, and he's got to go over the top. Now, you know, that is where Australia are at the moment. And for a side that's been right at the front, there's little bits of run-arounds, people are in the wrong place. And again, we get one look at the situation. Phibbs comes up. Now, I'm sorry, but that has no idea. That doesn't resemble an Australian side for me. Traditionally, they're very quick into that. As I said, right back with the Brumbies, they had so many phases into the game where they were organised, they looked lost. Now, when you've got someone as creative as a Cooper, with such poor detail around the outside, I think this is where he looks to force it. He looks to find something.
He doesn't save himself. He doesn't help himself.
I'm one of Cooper's biggest fans, but he's having an absolute shocker. But he's contributed to a lot of things. However, I agree with what Dewi's saying. When it goes against you like this, you don't make the situation worse. And the problem with Cooper at the moment is he does things people can only dream of. We're agreed on that. The problem is when it goes against him, he forces issue, forces passes, forces kicks, and it then puts your team in even more
Bear in
trouble.
mind, they've got a lot of ammunition missing. Drew Mitchell, O'Connor, Holwell, the captain.
Curly Beale's out of form.
Beale's out of form. He's got pressure. Look, I don't think pushing the panic button now. There is issues, definitely, with Robbie Deans, but I think he will fix it, and there'll be a massive test for England.
No, it's a huge issue for Australia. They are not South Africa. If they go down that road, they're going to lose. They are movement, deception, and with Cooper out now, I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Going to be interesting
news for the Lions.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they'll get it fixed by then. Good news, I suppose, and interesting for November as well.